Okay, this is Aunt Frieda Whittington's 75th birthday party. Beautiful decoration. And there's her daughter Lois. Okay, there's Aunt Frieda. There's Lois. And Aunt Bev. Uncle Hugh. My mom, Pat. And John. My dad. And we've got the back of David's head here. Maybe we can get his face. Hi, David. Not sure. Just got a little bit of everybody here. There's my lovely husband. And Nicholas. And a little bit of the other side of the room here. And all these strings go to the balloons on the ceiling. The kids are having a great time with that. I got it. Oh, there's a head in the way there.
We were all on the notion when I said it was whack. It'd be redundant. And I'm afraid anything I say good about this lady would be redundant. We all know. Wonderful. Here, here.
Let me see here.
Yeah.
Take it off the tripod. This is going to be.
I can't do this one.
Louder? Louder? Oh. Sit down, go ahead.
Sit down. David, I got the other one, but I don't think I can do this one. I'm sure I won't make it.
Where is it?
I just put it down.
Actually, now I can put it on the tripod so everybody's standing there with me saying it.
Well, to continue, my dad couldn't be here tonight, and you know, I can imagine how much he wanted to, but he had some very pressing business to take care of, so he wanted me to read a letter that he wrote to me, Ma, and it's funny, and it was educational to me as well, because there's some things in here that I didn't know. Try to do the best I can to do the spirit that's right here. It says, how do I write in some type of short fashion about someone I've known my entire life, especially if that person is so much of who I am? Initially, I want to share a few thoughts about Frieda Marie Beulah Beckwith Whittington prior to my leaving off to school. The first time I can really remember Mom was when we lived in Minnesota. It was so cold, so wet, but it was such a fresh and open space to live. The thought comes to mind that I wanted to play outside without a coat, and Mom would make me wear a coat. She also wanted me to wear a hat. To this day, I still resist wearing a coat until I absolutely have to. Plus, I will not wear a hat yet. What does this say about What does this say about mothering or listening to your mother? Also, I remember Mom trying to have me wear pajamas. Mom, that still is not registered either. Many warm and vivid thoughts, which could be expanded about Mom, come to mind. The transition of moving, meeting new people, allowing Dad to be with his dad and Mom in Syracuse, allowing me to be with Grandma and Grandpa during the summers in North Pitcher. Importantly, having animals, especially dogs, rabbits, and yes, our first animal, a baby lamb, which later froze to death in our garage. That, as I remember, was the first of many times which Mom comforted me and got me through with a hug, her soft words, and her gentleness, and with a closing kiss on the cheek. Another picture was to allow many kids to come to our house to play ball, even if the ball field was small and next to the church. I especially remember hitting my longest ball through the church window, and my mom running out in the house in Pataskala. This was the first time I vividly remembered Mom is my head cheerleader, even though that long ball terminated the use of the parsonage yard as our ball field. In Pataskala, Mom also took care of her mother, my grandmother, while she was in her late days, also my grandpa, and then Lois's burn accident. These are the first times I remember which Mom really put on her caring and taking care of others' hat. I remember moving to the Plains, and Mom told to instruct the movers to hide the TV, while the movers took it to the basement. Also, Mom asking politically Nellie and Tom Thomas, our neighbors, if we could use their television antenna, otherwise known as the Devil's Horn, to connect to our hidden TV in the basement somewhere. This was probably the first time I recall Mom questioning the established system of the time. Obviously, that questioning is still going on to this day. I also remember Mom yelling to us kids to come in from playing hide and seek one night. That night, I was behind the outhouse, yes, the church outhouse, with an elevated blood pressure. Angie will know what I mean by pressure. By the way, this has nothing to do with a profession of nursing. When I finally came in after a few yells, Mom knew what I was up to. She looked at me. I was obviously green, purple, or red, and she said with a half grin, "Did you get caught tonight?" Isn't it amazing how some people just know? This was my first vivid recall of Mom is one of those people who just knows. Mansfield, Ohio, brings other thoughts. The church boat, playing ball on Sundays, going to church, Mansfield High School football, basketball, baseball, Ruthie's accident, Dad's being voted out, my Olivet days, dropping me off for Olivet, getting kicked out of Olivet, staying home, going to Murray, and many more. In all of these, Frieda Marie was the head cheerleader of not only me, but of many others. During the past 28 years, Mom, you have always been my head cheerleader. You have also been a person who knows, a person who has continuously hugged me, said soft words, loved me for who I am, and kissed me softly. Obviously, if I would have needed to be cared for, you would have done that without question. On one hand, I'm sorry that I couldn't be there tonight to read this to you and share other thoughts. On the other hand, since I am every day so much a part of you, I am already there with you tonight, just like you have been always with me on many, many tonights. Happy 75th birthday, Frieda Marie Beulah Beckwith Whitman, or proudly put another way, Mom. Happy number 75, I love you. I'm looking forward to many more tonights with you.
Yay! That's a couple With that beginning, I want to open this up to an opportunity for us all to just share. As we feel inspired to do so, I'm just going to give little things as we go along about Mother. One of the things I remember about my mother when I was little was that when I was sick, she always came in and sat beside me with a warm cloth, a cup of tea, and some dry toast with lots of butter. And she would sit by my bed and she would wash my face off with that washcloth. Never forgotten how that feels. And often do that even now to friends that are sick or to when my son was ill. I always remember my mom would bring that right. That's just wonderful. Who would like to be next? Marvilla? Oh, I'm still. You're still training from Paul. I know. The fun thing about tonight is that I was thinking about tonight is that the reason that we are all here is because of her, and that's really special too. That will bring us all together. We've gotten our territories pretty much here. On this side of the table, there are a number of people that Mother met after she moved to Columbus, and as you hear from them, you'll learn how she met them. I have had the opportunity to meet and spend time with all of you from her writing class and some workshops that she's done or been with on. And you look forward to meeting these people if you have a chance to do. This side of the room is largely relatives that go way back as far as who knows where, that even step back as far as Maureen and Greg, which are step down as David and Caroline's sister. Caroline's brother and wife are here as well. And here we have Charlie and April, who are workers with Happen. And we're glad to have them here. We might not get it. I also want to introduce Linda and David McAllister and Dolly, who are people that
Having no luck here.
talk about from the plains, and I'll talk more about this guy later. So, who would like to be next? Okay, Linda, good.
Trying to find a spot where somebody doesn't move in front of it. Because I'm afraid the kids will run into it then.
Can you hear me now?
No, it's not on.
The line's not on. You can tell I don't make my living on speaker.
Right, there you go, now I can hear it. That sounds a little loud, but that's all right. But anyway, Dick and I are both very blessed to be here tonight to share with Frieda's family and all of her friends. And I think the Lord just works in such incredible ways, and I'm going to cry. But Frieda and I came together at a time when we were ready to grow some more. And God knew that. And we saw a beautiful natural scene down in southern Ohio. And we were walking in the woods holding hands. And we didn't know each other really. And she said, "Oh, Linda, just look at that, praise the Lord." And I said, "Yes, Frieda, indeed, praise the Lord." And tonight we just need to praise Him for the angel that He brought among us. And she has been an answer to my prayers. I lost my mother suddenly 2 years ago. And Frieda was there to hold me up. And she's just been a neat mentor and role model for me. And I just think, gee, if I can just continue to grow the way Frieda has grown, when I'm 75, I'll probably wear purple too. Thank you, Frieda. Thank you, guys.
Go ahead. Go for it, baby.
Oh, touch it. Seems to be working all right.
I think we could all write a book about this beautiful lady and our experiences with her over the years. Seems like the first memory I have of this lady.
Excuse me. I mean, I interrupted you.
Yes.
Introduce yourself and tell us how you know her.
Oh, well, I'm getting ready to.
Okay, good.
I'm working up to it. I was a very young child. I had to have been in a crib. And I don't recall the reason, but I suddenly looked up and there was my Aunt Frieda, my Uncle Arnold, and my mom and my dad looking through the doorway at me because I had pulled the scarf off the dresser and whatever was on that dresser had fallen to the floor, and they had come to find out about it. So now you know she's my Aunt Frieda. But that's one of my earliest memories, and it must have been when I was very small because I remember being in a crib. The second thing I remember was Uncle Arnold, the Christmas dinners all together with always, he was saying, he would stand up and he would, just to annoy Grandma Beulah, he would stand up and he would take his knife and he would measure, see which piece of pie was the biggest. And he would be so embarrassed. Don't do that, don't do that. That was the second memory I have, and I must have been 8 or 9. But he'd always take the biggest piece of corn, and she was so embarrassed because lots of times the whole roll of corn would fall off the table. This is a true story. And then we kind of drifted apart for some time.
Only geographically.
Right. Geographically. They moved to Minnesota. There were no longer Christmases at Grandma and Grandpa Beulah's in North Pitcher because by then Grandma and Grandpa were going to Florida in the wintertime. And they were working at the Fannie Farmer Chocolate, Mr. Peanut Chocolate in Binghamton, I believe it was, or Syracuse. One of those big cities. You didn't get to go there very often. And then there's a time in my life when I reached out. And I don't think I made through this time. She picked me up and taught me how to be a person who could live even though they weren't perfect. She taught me how to deal with imperfection and how to love imperfection and how to love unconditionally. And God knows I've learned so much. And I want to thank you because you have been there. You have carried us as your children as though you have carried us in your womb 9 months. But you have carried us in your womb for 35, 40 years. And we are all so blessed to have you because your arms and your body is always there ready and willing. And we have so much to say, but we can't say it. And I think everyone has the same problem. I love you, and I thank you for what you helped me become. I can't say it anymore. Thank you, Arthur.
No, it's just.
While we're waiting on somebody else to come up and say it, I think it's again, we're here on this camera. So looking through the eye of forever in this camera, which will last as long as we take care of it, sort of reminds me of when I look at Frieda, a love that lasts just as long as we take care of it. Love does take work. It doesn't come without sacrifice. It doesn't come without effort. And when I focus in on that smiling face right there, I see lifetimes of effort, lifetimes of love, sacrifice, and all those things that make Frieda what Frieda is.
Hi. Happy birthday, Aunt Frieda. I am Pat's daughter, Orvilla's daughter, and I didn't really intend to read this tonight, but I didn't realize there'd be this kind of an opportunity. So this is the letter that I wrote to Aunt Frieda when we were asked to bring a little love note. And I think it'll probably say more than anything I could say trying to make it up right now. Dear Aunt Frieda, first I want to congratulate you on the celebration of your 75th birthday. Wow. You haven't wasted a minute of it either. You are my life role model. I've never known anyone with so much love and, to top that off, energy, vitality, growth. From the time I was a small child, I eagerly awaited your visits. You always had a story or an object lesson. It was so much fun. I'm sure some of you also know this feeling. And the love and support you gave my mother made you like a surrogate grandmother to me. All through my life, you've been a spiritual beacon to me. As you're probably aware, I've never quite found a spiritual community where I felt I really belonged. But you've shown me so much about finding my peace from within. And you always made me feel that my thoughts, feelings, opinions, and beliefs were valid, even if I have changed over the year, and these beliefs and feelings have changed over the years. At the same time, you've lived as a beautiful example of change. From you, I've learned that finding the answers is not nearly as important as the process of looking. You've inspired me to feel beautiful and challenged me to see the beauty in others. You give of yourself daily, and if the old superstition is true, that will come back to you threefold. And I believe it. All my life, I've never heard anyone say anything derogatory, foul, or cruel behind your back. And I've heard praises from everyone who's met you. Your light shines for all of us, and today we come together to honor you. And I'd like to offer you blessings on your 75th birthday. I love you.
That's a product of what this lady taught me. Right.
It just keeps coming on down. Just keeps slowing down.
We do this every day for work, and I can't do this right now. I don't know why. I thought I came from a really weird family. And it's funny because I thought, oh, this is a contradiction. This is the opposite of what I have. And right after we met, we went down to the cottage to spend some time. And I probably shouldn't tell this story, but forgive me, it's too appropriate. One night we were laying around the living room, and I was sitting on the couch reading a magazine, and we had just been together, kind of going down to the water, watching the sunset. And Chris was laying on the floor reading a magazine, and me was just laying on the floor in the blue jeans, staring up at the ceiling. She was over here, you know what I'm thinking of, or something. I don't even remember what the was. And I'm like, no, Mame, what is it? She goes, did you ever get to make love on a beach? Forgive me, please forgive me. But that just summarized that weekend and that whole revelation of when I came home and my mom's like, so how's his grandmother? And I come from an Irish Catholic background, and that was really radical. I think I just blushed and said, no, Mame, gosh, I never did. So,
One can have fantasy.
God bless you for when Ruth asked us to write a poem, I haven't written a poem since 8th grade, and I was totally embarrassed when I had to do it then, and I thought, what the heck, I'll just sit down and give it a try in the time that I had at the hotel today. It's kind of goofy, but what the heck, I'll read it for you. I called it To Think of Mima. Cool as a woman to climb the wall to see who is on the other side. Cool as a climber, a mountaineer woman in her prime, standing proudly in her Land's End boots, blue jeans, and maroon flannel shirt. Cool as the nurturer,
standing at the stove, preparing her famous spaghetti for all the neighborhood kids. She's a woman, warm and loving, true essence of a human being. Cool is the woman, the energy we call Mima, mother, grandmother, and most of all, friend. Love you.
That makes me remember something about Mother. And I have a couple friends here in the room from the Plains who will remember this as well, I think. And that was sex education. When I was little, you know, kids have questions they need to ask, and some parents don't like to answer those questions, and some parents do. And my mother was a mother that never made me feel bad about the questions I asked. So I never felt bad about sex too much, you know, because she welcomed my questions, never told me more than I needed to know. I didn't know that, but as I reviewed how she handled that, I recognized she just told me enough to satisfy me. And if you remember, Linda and Dolly, we all Sunday afternoon we go over to Ruth's house because Ruth's mom would talk about sex. And we could ask her questions we couldn't ask anybody else. But it has been a wonderful gift because of her openness and her honesty and her willingness to let us be little girls that were curious, and we had questions that nobody else would answer. And I was proud that my mom would answer the questions, and you know, we kept together. There wasn't anything I was ever ashamed to ask my mother that I can remember. You know, you know what I mean? Anything that I can remember not feeling okay about asking her, and that comment that you made, Sue, is just indicative of the whole setup. Wonderful, wonderful. David, did you say you were going to share next? I'm sorry. This is one of the guys that I went to school with that went to school with my brother and married one of my best friends.
Frieda, I can tell you the stories you used to tell the three girls. They would come outside and tell the boys all the time. If you don't know where that is, that's down southeast Ohio, kind of the Appalachian area. And Frieda, with her family in 1956, stayed for about 3 years, and it was quite an enjoyable time for us. I was 7th grader, Dave was 7th grader at the time, and Dave kind of was sweet on my wife. She wasn't my wife at the time. But Dave went with her for a couple of years, and I was dating another girl, and we always ran around together as much as you can run around on the plane without a car. And there's not too many street lights though, so there's a lot of dark corners. Dave, he's 50 years old now, and I guess that kind of came about. How important that is anymore, I guess, because he was out in Wisconsin walking with Eric through his farmland out there, and there's a little frog sitting down in this pond, and said, hey, come over here. Dave looked around, Eric looked around. Pretty soon Eric spotted that frog. And, hey, come over here. So Dave went over and picked up the frog. The frog said, if you'll rub my belly, I'll turn into a beautiful woman and make passionate love to you. Dave took the frog, put it in his pocket, and they kept on walking. Pretty soon the frog said, hey. Hey, and Eric said, Dad, that frog's talking to you. So he pulls the frog out and says, if you'll rub my belly, I'll turn into a beautiful woman and make passionate love to you. Dave puts it back in his pocket. Eric said, Dad, what are you doing? He said, Eric, at my age, a talking frog's a lot more valuable. But anyway, 1956, when Frieda moved into on the plains with her family, that was quite some time for us. This was our formative years, and right away our church really started having a great youth attendance. And we would meet in her basement, and she was always, as everyone knows, talking with us and leading us through life at that time. She was a great person to all of us. Mother, grandmother, whatever you say. I always had a crush on her, and she kind of knew that. But she wasn't available at the time. I was only about 13 years old. They moved to Mansfield, and as you know, about Dave's 9th grade year, we stayed in touch for a while, and then we lost touch for about probably 20 years or so.
Oh, longer than that. We've been married
Yeah,
30 years.
anyway, that was 48 years? 38 years.
35.
Yeah. And somehow we did get back together. Frieda looked us up one day and stopped by, and we stopped up to see her, and then we've been to visit her several times. And for all that you gave us those 3 short years, which seemed like a lifetime, really. And so thank you very much for letting us be a part of your birthday. Happy birthday.
For those of you who haven't met me, I'm Marge Benton, and I've been Frieda's friend for over 30 years, or about 30 years. I was a new school treasurer, and Frieda was my first state auditor who came in to visit me. And I was shaking in my shoes, and she was fairly new in the auditor's office and was shaking a little too. And we became fast friends and have been friends ever since. And I just recently moved to Columbus so I could be closer to her and to my daughter. And she's just been a wonderful friend. We've had a lot of good times and a lot of bad times, and we picked each other up and carried each other. And I'd like to share this card with you. Dear Frieda, do you hear snickers from those around you? Do you feel your bones beginning to crunch? Are you constantly fighting those chunky moms around the middle? Some nerds may say you are at that stage betwixt youth and senility, but that doesn't mean you are a slowpoke. As you approach these fireball years of your life, get your whatchamacallit in gear. Show everyone you are still carefree as you've always been, bar none. Everyone knows you're worth 100 grand. Love and kisses. P.S. I worked my buns off on this card. Hope you get some chuckles out of it. Happy birthday now and
Those are the hugs and kisses. Yeah.
My mother's a career woman. That's another big segment of my life. I remember my mom, I used to comb her hair in the morning, and she would get up and go to work every day looking like $1 million. The professional woman, I feel like I have had an opportunity to experience a nice profession because of the model that she was for me over the years, being a woman that was smart and ahead of her time and going out and doing her own thing and traveling around. And I'm sure that where Marge met her in that arena as well. Who's next? Donna. I don't know why. No? Is that putting you on the spot? I'm kind of wanting to get a little bit of this writing group that our good friends. Please tell them who you're looking for.
Well, for those who haven't met me, my name is Donna Radchek, and believe it or not, I was Frieda's teacher. But actually, she's been my teacher in life, most definitely. We met about 7 years ago in a writing class taught at Ohio State University. And one thing I can say about Frieda is every time she sees me, she says, "You are beautiful. You are beautiful. Do you know that?" And so I want to say to you tonight, you are beautiful. You are beautiful. Do you know it? teach writing classes, and I was in a total writer's block this afternoon. I thought, I've got to write something for Frieda for tonight, so this is what I tried to attempt to write. So. Sorry about that, everybody.
Some story.
Okay. The inspiration for this is really an image that I saw at Niches, and this is a place that some of us have been to in the Hocking Hills. There's this beautiful hidden area, what was an old house site, and every spring it's a field of wild yellow daffodils, and it's absolutely stupendous. So this is kind of the image or the metaphor I had in mind. She is a wild golden daffodil growing in a rolling field of blooming irises. Where did this hybrid come from? Her presence blesses, soothes, calms, like a healing tonic warming the soul. Noticeable, her yellow petals contain many contrasts. She is attentive, energetic, alive, alive, alive. A woman of her own right and beingness. She holds your hand and says, "It will be okay," putting on the homemade Band-Aid without judgment. She has been my soul friend, my confidant, my role model, and a part of my chosen family. She is like the Canadian geese leading the pack, saying, "Let's have fun. It's not time to go home. Let's celebrate this day." Her life is a celebration, and I know a part of me is blessed by knowing her. Sweet dear Frieda, a beautiful golden daffodil, she is magic dancing amongst the irises.
Okay, well, I didn't write anything because I was too busy decorating. I'm not alone in that. I wouldn't have written anything anyway because I'm kind of like my brother David, you know. Where is he? A man of few words. How do you know, every single person that's been up here said they're like so happy to be, they're like, you know, she's like their mother. They're really, well, she is my mother. Think how lucky I am. I don't even have to like it tonight to pretend. It really is. And I've been fortunate to be like, you know, dominantly her gene pool. Way down, all, you know, through. So I just have lots of blessings and lots of thanks. And I want to send thanks and love for my family who couldn't be here. But I was trying to think of three times that are most important in my adult life that she was here. And I brought 3 pictures of each of my birth of my children, and she was there for me every time. The 3 most important things in my life, along with my other most important thing in my life. I love you and happy birthday. I only hope that when I'm 75, Angie, Clinton, Lane, and all you guys, okay? I want a party like this.
It's your responsibility.
You'll be 40 by then.
I was thinking as I stood in the back there, at the fact that I didn't write anything here yet, I most definitely will. But I don't have anything here tonight, because I did kind of know that everything I ever needed to say would be said by all of you in one way or another. Lois made a really important statement that I did want to mention myself, and to add on to what Lois said, that as I was reviewing, as all of us in this room have, my experience with Mother, and I've lived in Seattle for 20 years, so, you know, it's not like we've been neighbors like we are now. Every single major event, good or bad, and there was a mixture of both, she found a way to be with me in and with, and I just thank you, Mother. And there was just nothing. I mean, if I had a little incision of some sort, you know, or if there was a celebration, she was there. She made the investment to be there, and we can't thank you for that kind of support when I'm way out there, that she was always there beside me, and I just appreciate that too, Mom, a lot. Don't anybody think that somebody's already said it, because you can just keep saying it. Here comes John.
Here I am, another part of the same family. We must just, I don't know whether we are that close, or whether we're that close, but whether we're just a bunch of loudmouths, but I guess the whole family's got up here. I met you several years ago, and I'm a little too close to this one, I guess. Several years ago, and I probably came from a little different upbringing, probably, than most of you in this group. I wasn't one that was in church every Sunday or anything. And I'm not putting down my upbringing and so forth, but it's still a little different type of lifestyle. And I know at that time when I first met you, and many, many times since, you've been there supporting not only me, but my wife, my family. And I realized something that I think you realize. I mean, you're doing it. You seem to realize the inner person in someone. Call it a soul, or call it whatever you want. When you look at someone, it's not a fat person, it's not a thin person, it's not an attractive person or ugly. You're looking at the person, not what they're in, not what their body is or how they behave. You accept people for what they are. Over the years, I've seen you live and move from one kind of environment into another type of environment, and you've been flexible. You just kind of adapted from one to the other. But all the way through this, you've realized and communicated on that real person-to-person level. And I think that's unique. I think that's what everybody's trying to say here today. They're trying to say it in one form or another, but it's the fact that you are accepting of everyone, no matter what their lifestyle may be. You are communicating to the inner person rather than the outward person that you may be dealing with. And all along the line, you're stopping and smelling the roses. You're seeing the beautiful things that there are in life, the little tiny things, the things that make people overlook, the important things. And everyone here has learned so much from you because of that. And I hope that it kind of extends to all of them, and I know it has. I can see it has, and you can hear that it has, and everything they've said tonight. Frieda, this will stay with people forever and ever and ever. So you're leaving a mark, and when I say you're leaving a mark, I think it's because of my age, and I'm not trying to refer to your age as far as you're leaving, but we are in the elderly years, you know. And something with people, with these younger people, that will stay with them and they'll pass on to their children. And it's beautiful. And we thank you.
Now we're kind of off the sentimental stuff. And this is I want to focus on a couple other people, and I think you did too.
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead.
We had a lot of help with this, and a couple people. I mean, you know, the family the kids, the immediate family kind of got together for this, but we had a couple other people. One in particular, who has been so amazing. And we want to give her just a little something, even though she won't take it probably. But Linda has really, she did all the food. I mean, pretty much all the food. We just wanted to give her a little token of our appreciation because she has been phenomenal. To think of how much work Frieda had done. She had done all the food. I mean, Linda's from the Plains, lifelong. David's wife. Dolly has helped. Dawn. I mean, we have just had a whole group. But come here, this is for you. And we love you. I mean, this is so good to touch base again. Thank you. And also Papa. I mean, we got Papa. We got to mention Papa. Thank you for everything too. Love you. What, Pat? You want to be next? Okay, come on. We're going to put a little music on it. Okay. Everybody talked about her nurturing ability and how wonderful it is. This lady knows how to have fun. We've had so many wonderful times with her at the lake cabin and eating fresh corn on the cob and ice cream. Wonderful time. And looking for glass on the beach. Wonderful time. We've taken Aunt Frieda to, I didn't say who I am. I'm Pat Beulah, Dale's wife, and Dale is Aunt Frieda's nephew.
My brother's son.
We took Aunt Frieda to Big Bend National Park one year, and she had a wonderful time, and we enjoyed her so much. And I had just had foot surgery, so I couldn't climb the mountain, but Dale and Aunt Frieda climbed the mountain when she was 70 years old. Is that a role model or what? Climbing a mountain at 70. And we got on horseback and rode down to the waterfall. Had a wonderful time. You're a great model for all of us, and I hope we can be half of what you are when we get your age, if we make it that far.
Oh, me. I'm going to read, because if I start talking, the tears will never stop.
Okay, what's up, everyone? This is going to be good.
I need a napkin. Dawn Simmons.
She's my sister.
My father is her brother, and she has been a marvelous part of my life since I can remember. A beautiful light in my life, a reminder that there can be joy in life, there can be fun, excitement, anticipation, and something other than just existence. I have conveyed my love and my thoughts to you throughout the years in many different fashions and forms. And I just briefly wrote something and then I'll sit down. We've shared many beautiful events, places. My dear Aunt Frieda, I have such glorious, beautiful memories of time spent with you. We've dipped in the Caribbean, watched the sunset in San Miguel, ridden the trolleys in San Francisco, and strolled arm in arm through Central Park. Your passion, enthusiasm, tenderness, and understanding have been a blessing in my life. Your encouragement and unconditional love that never ceases. I love you.
Eric is going to come around and pass out some satin roses that have potpourri in them that were handmade by Maureen, who's sitting over here. Maureen, as a volunteer, wonderful love gift. We find these roses, and there are some up on the stairway too. So please help yourselves and each take one. She made these. She is Caroline. My brother David, who just was involved in the explosion. His wife's brother's wife. So Caroline's sister-in-law, Caroline Dave's sister-in-law. We appreciate you, Maureen, for that. And this is Eric, David's son. Hi. Who's Mima's youngest grandchild? Me. Who's Mima's only granddaughter? Angie. Good job. Where is Angie in this crowd of people? Over there. Why don't you ask her if it's her turn? Yes. This is Angie, my brother Paul. You just spoke earlier on Paul's behalf. By the way, Paul was here. Many of you got to meet him as cocktail party. He was here to right the end.
Angie's just finishing up her 4-year program, School of Nursing, University of Illinois.
I mean, my whole life has been showing me how. My head cheerleader. Since I heard about this party, I've been thinking about what am I going to say about Mima? What am I going to say? I mean, I can't even express. I know that's what I'm going to say. Mima has been a very big part of my life, like all of yours. She's taught me so much. All of her words of wisdom. I'm as emotional as she is. You're just like Mima. And I'm very proud of that. A trip that, one of the memories that I'll hold with me forever, like a lot of them, a lot of my time with Mima, is last Christmas she came to London with my parents because Mike is from England, and that's where he lives. And she came with my parents to meet his family, and met all of them. Spent a glorious week. We had a wonderful time. She met my fiance's mother, who just recently passed away, and has supported me so much.
What it really is mercy.
If I don't talk to you every day, I know you're thinking about me. I really do. And everyone that comes, it's amazing to have a grandmother like me, Mom. Like, it's amazing. How many people have someone like you in their lives? It's when you produce my father. I love it. Well, I think the best father in the whole world.
But we forgive you.
But anyway, I could go on and on, but I love you and glad you're in my life. Does anyone know how to? Jeff, put this up here. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Frieda. Happy birthday to you. Started these candles, but there isn't a lot of time left, so I'm going to go rest here. Did you see what was on the front of it? The red hat is for...
David Brannon, I started.
We got Mom.
Yeah, this is a good time for me to read something. Yeah. She got it in my head with this wonderful piece of mind, didn't you? Yeah. Denise gave me the book when I go back to her. And I think it's such a long read. And so, wait a minute. This is a good time. Good time. Want to turn it down? Turn it up. I want to read this poem. I had a couple people say to me, why is everything purple? Somebody said they thought maybe the guy who was selling purple was having a sale. And so actually, and this cake says, when I am 75, I shall, ... So if you'd like to listen, would you like me to read this to you? This is where this all comes from. When I am an old woman, the only thing is, I didn't order this cake because I didn't want to say when I'm an old woman. That's the only part about this poem that doesn't work. And, I'm not sure when that's going to happen with her. Do you guys have any idea? We know we're not going to let her get old, and she refuses to get old. So, but here it is. I shall wear purple with a red hat on the cake, which doesn't go and doesn't suit me. And I shall spend my pension on brandy and summer gloves and satin sandals and save money for butter. I shall sit down on the pavement when I'm tired and gobble up samples in shops and press alarm bells and run my stick along the public railings and make up for the sobriety of my youth. I shall go out in my slippers in the rain and pick the flowers in other people's gardens and learn to spit. You can wear terrible shirts and grow more fat and eat 3 pounds of sausage at a go, or only bread and pickle for a week, and hoard pins and pencils and beer mats and things in boxes. But now we must have clothes that keep us dry and pay our rent and not swear in the street and set a good example for the children. We will have friends to dinner and read the papers. But maybe I ought to practice a little now, so people who know me are not too shocked and surprised when suddenly I am old and start to wear purple. I've heard that poem, and people sending it to her. It's been a real token. Speaking of poetry, this is a good time to bring up Pam, Papa's daughter, Pam, put together a really nice collection of poetry, not all of which I'm going to read, but I'm going to read a couple of the poems that she comprised on Mother's behalf, and then Mother can spend time later reading some of the other passages that she extracted from various books and so forth. But 2 short ones. To see her is to love her, and love but her forever. For nature made her what she is, and never made another. That's a good one. Our lives are songs. God writes the words and we set them to music at pleasure. And the song grows glad or sweet or sad as we choose to fashion the measure. And Mother has certainly got a good Okay. There's one here though, from Proverbs 31 I have to love for it. So this one goes, Proverbs 31:28, her children.
Yay! Yes. Come on, Ruthie. Yes, you can. Yes, yes, yes.
This one gets me, probably because you know who wrote it.
Yes.
Her children arise and call her blessed.
Yes.
And us blessed. That's a good one. One more quote by Margaret Fuller. A house is no home unless it contains food and fire for the mind as well as for the body.
Yes.
Here are some good ones in here. Yes. Who's next?
Speechless.
Oh, Maggie. Look who came to dinner.
Have to say hello first.
There goes. She doesn't know about that.
I don't didn't prepare anything official, so I'm just gonna, dance with everybody. I'm Maggie McKibbergen, and I'm a friend of Frieda's from several years ago, from the moment she rubbed my feet. It was pure love. And we met at a workshop, and we're roommates just right off the bat, and have always had a place in my home, my heart, and I felt true sincerity and love and support, and unconditional love, and spirituality, and no one could ask for better than being a person and friend. And I just wish you more and more years of love, just full and overflowing with your cup. Thank you. Love it.
Hi, Frieda. Hi, everybody. Roy Fryer, and I was at that same foot rubbing workshop. And where I met Frieda for the first time, too. And we found ourselves sitting on the couch together, and we each had little questions for discussion, and we had to pair off. And my partner was Frieda, and we had to talk about God. And I was really angry at God. And I took a big, deep breath and talked about it to Frieda. And she was really loving and accepting. And then the next morning I saw her at breakfast in a beautiful red and white striped shirt, and we ate breakfast and became friends and were friends. And Frieda, as Donna said earlier, claim it, you are old. You're probably one of the oldest people I know, and God bless you, you are great. It's okay to be old when you're like Frieda, right? It's real. And you know what? You're old and you're ageless. Ageless.
Yes.
God bless.
I know I've already been up here once, but I want to come up on behalf of myself this time. And before I was on behalf of my father. So I have a memory of Mima that is different, I think, from everybody else's, because I was with her. Everybody else has been talking tonight about the good times with Mima, and I was with Mima at a low point in her life. About 6 years ago, she was in a car accident. I don't know, some of you know, and was hurt pretty badly. And I had been a year at school, and I was floundering around with my life, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I volunteered, and it just turned out that I could spend a week with Mima, healing with her, and coming to Columbus and just staying with her and cooking for her, and things that she had done for me my whole life.
Carrying me to the bathroom.
And
all of it was so lovely.
I wanted to make a point with this, but I don't know what I can other than that I've learned in the past 6 years. I went through so much from then till now. I mean, growing up, being a man, being an adult, and I learned so much sitting beside your bed and talking to you about incredibly frank issues. And talking about God and talking about love and talking about life and learning about where I want to be. I did want to become an adult at that time, and I was just on it. And I want to thank you. At your lowest part, you picked me up. That's what an incredible human being can do. At their lowest part, can lift you up. She has that much inside of her. And I think we all know that. And that's the point of everybody getting up here today and talking about this. But other than, I just wanted you to know that not just at her highest times, but even at her lowest point, when she was in pain and she was cringing, moving around in bed, and it hurt me, but I knew that this is the person that's the nucleus in this giant family of love that sits around all these tables here. And all that love has come from this person, and I learned that. And I have built my life, all my love comes from you. It's just a stream. And there's nothing else that I can say except I wish I could give a quarter as much love that you've given me and taught me about it in my life. Thank you.
Frieda, Karen and I are very shy. And we just didn't really know whether to come up here and talk to you or not. Now, you know that's true, right? Almost. Sorry. Please, Lord. Right. But I have to tell you how much you meant to me. And the reason I'm here and the reason I do what I do now is because of you. And what you meant to me when I was just a youngster. And I really appreciate it, and I love you. And I love you.
This is my daughter-in-law, David's wife, Caroline. Like she popped out of my belly too, along with some of these others. Oh, and now we're gonna dance. Now it's gonna be a fun time. Oh, you've got something to say. Oh, yeah. We knew it was evening.
You'll want to dance after this. I was standing in the kitchen this morning talking with Beverly and looking at the newspaper, and we noticed how many articles there were in the paper about all the things that are happening in the world that are discouraging. And I remember David Brinkley's remark to a convention in Cleveland, some 15 years ago, about the plane leaving San Francisco and arriving in Chicago safely and that not making news. But of course, if something happened en route, that was news. Good things that happen, lots of times, don't make news. But one of the things that does make news tonight is this occasion that we're celebrating. We make too much entirely of the fact that we've gone around the orbit so many times. A lot of people are not privileged to make a 75 times orbit around the sun. And there are many people who do reach that age whose behavior leads us into a fallacy of stereotyping. And so we sometimes come to think that
I have one last thing to say. Not really. Before my dad left tonight, he handed me this card, and this is probably a private card, but he found it, made it his business, and said, Angie, if it's timely enough, read this at the party. So I'm going to read it.
This is the cutest thing in the whole world. I'll tell you. Oh, it says my mommy. This is to Frieda from, you can guess. Okay, it says my mommy. The kind of life that you should take a lot of pride in, with love, success, and friendships that must be so satisfying. And today is the day to celebrate a very special birthday. So hope you spend the day the way you find most gratifying. Your special partner, Samantha. And there's a little note written by Sam, believe it or not. Oh yeah, sorry, yes ma'am. You've already read this, but I just thought it's so, I think it's appropriate. Anyway, I look at you with my big brown eyes, look deep into you. How beautiful you are. I see you much younger than your years. I love it. Don't ever change the way you are. Beautiful. Love, Sam. That's what that was written by. Sam. Speaking of people that aren't here, Sam. And my son is not here. My son, John. And we talked to him on the phone. He called Mother yesterday and was really sorry that he and his wife couldn't be here. And John is like my sister Lois and my brother David. They're all the same DNA. And a very deep man with very deep feelings and not a man of many words. But he sent this along and asked that I would read it in his absence. Happy 75th Meemaw. You'll never know what a huge part of my life you have always been. All your love and support jump-started my whole life. And I'll stop it right here because at the beginning of John's life, I was a pretty troubled young mommy without a husband. And my mother came in and filled in the gaps that I otherwise could not have filled and gave my son the first few years of his life a solid and secure beginning. And John and I have ever forgotten that. Those really important formative years when I didn't know where I was going or what end was up. I had a little boy and my mama took us both in. Yeah, yeah, she did that thing. Yeah, she was wonderful, and John has never forgotten it, neither have I. So he said he jump-started my whole life. If I could somehow explain it on paper, I would, but there's really no way I can. No use in trying. Just know that I love you, I miss you, I admire you, respect you, and I'm so proud you are my Meemaw. We both are sick that we're not there with you today, but we love and hope we'll see you soon and you have all that you deserve. We love you, John and Melanie, Moses and Mario, which are their dogs.
Can I do that for John and Melanie? We provided this beautiful Seattle, Washington. You're with us tonight, I know. I'd also like to propose a toast to my dead ex-husband, who was the father of these wonderful children. Who left us September the 13th. And I want to propose a toast in his memory tonight. I also want to do a third toast, and that's to a wonderful young man. Clint, where are you? There's that boy. Where are you? Happy birthday. Where are you? Nothing but love and joy to this family. And nothing but love and joy, peace, and wonderful childhood.
Well, to the point, I just want to say that, to introduce myself, I'm Clint's girlfriend for the past 6 years, and since I've known this family, I've never had a frown. Since I've known Nima, I've been always smiling. She's always made me feel so good and appreciate things. And basically, you guys really are a great family, and I'm so glad that I know you. And you always make me feel really good.
Jenny McAllister is there. And his wife, Cindy, arrived. They were also some friends of ours on the planes that David spoke about. And I remember Denny was, I remember a lot about Denny. Both do, and so does I. But anyway, I thought maybe Denny might have one little story, wouldn't you, Denny? Remember that, you know, what your mother used to cook in the afternoons, on Sunday afternoons?
Mayonnaise cake. That was my first taste of mayonnaise cake.
Mother used to cook mayonnaise cake today. You don't want to come up and talk mayonnaise cake? No, he doesn't like it. How about Dolly? No, wait. She's shy. I know she's not shy.
I gotta say this, Dolly, my mom, it's who does the dishes. It's who helps us move down the spaceship. It's the people on the ground doing it for us, man. My mom did it. She did it tonight for us. We gotta start appreciating that part of reality, of praising those people. And then we can move like a spaceship. And my mom has planted some seeds anyway.
Papa, would you like to dance with Mama? And anybody else like to get up and have a little dance? It is setting on the music. Oh, that's right. You know what? I'm sorry, Johnny. Never mind. We're going to, no, that's been changed. We're going to dance. As soon as you start, come on, my dear, and get up and have a little dance around.
Oops, your hands are right in front of the lens.
Yeah. Well, we were just going to move it off this table because she wants to put the record player up here so you can hear it better. And I thought maybe we could put the desserts all on one table over here and then we can eat just what we have. So we don't have the rest of it. Whatever they're called. Yeah, great. Is this the best one?
The best for dancing. There's a couple pictures. Okay. Wait a minute. There we go. I've got the volume up wide open.
Let's see how this goes.
They have, hey Angie. Yeah, they have like an 80s flashback weekend on 101 if you want more modern music. Does this have a radio? She said that there was an 80s flashback. Yeah, that's what I told you. 101.1 has. Yeah, 101. Oh, you want radio?
That consisted of two 4-passenger toboggans attached to a cable powered by a Model A motor. Few would have been today.
check on it in a minute.
This one's for you. You gotta dance.
Oh, Angie, you go.
Happy, happy birthday, baby. Although you in somebody's God, I draw for nothing to say that I will.
and CD 101.1, WWCD Grove City, Columbus, Rock Radio.
Say it, David.
Yes.
All right, when I call, another thing is very important is your reality thing, you know. That's music. Music, what it does to your head. That's why this ain't John Lennon, you know. This is better than John Lennon because he is here with us making music. All right. Woo-hoo! Music. The original. Yeah, that's so good. More than late, I better be
These are the only two I didn't first they were made. I'll figure out what to do with, so I take my
I got no kids. We love you anyhow. Have I told you lately that I love you? Your wife, that's what you You think the motto is better? Life of my mind, this is it. All right. One more time. One more time. Right.
Sing that song again, Johnny.
One more time. And there are those better places say, this is not. This is not. Have I told you that I love you? Have I told you how I feel? Have I told you lately that I love you? I adore you. There's nothing here about it. This heart was made to I'm no good without you anyhow. Here have I told you lately that I love you.
Ready, Nick? Ready? Like that, okay? Down. Do your push-ups. Any push-ups, Nick? Hey. Ready? Ready? Thank you. Ready? Set. Go! Again? How many do you think I can do, Nick? I've already done like 30.